The siren was a phantom, a sound that existed only in the cavern of her skull, muffled, distant, like an emergency happening on another planet. She didn't know the year, the day, or even her own name. But the blood on the pristine white sheets was real, intensely, terrifyingly real. Then she saw him. A tall, silent man with eyes the color of iced bourbon, standing in the doorway of her lavish, unfamiliar bedroom. Beat, her first breath was a gasp of stale, expensive air, the kind that circulated in houses built for silence. She sat up, pain exploding from the back of her skull. The world swam into focus, painfully sharp yet utterly meaningless. The room was immense, vaulted ceilings, a four-poster bed draped in silk, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a dense twilight forest. It was the kind of room a woman like her would own. The problem was she didn't know who her was. A pulse of panic tightened her chest. She reached back, touching the sticky, matted blood in her blonde hair. That's when he stepped fully into the room. He was impeccably dressed in a dark gray suit, holding a stainless steel tumbler. Not frantic, not caring, calm in a way that felt wrong. He looked like a man built for boardrooms. Not for tending to an injured wife. "Don't move," he said, his voice a low, gravelly baritone. It wasn't comforting, it was commanding like a warden. "Who are you?" she whispered. He took a slow sip. "I'm the man who pays the mortgage." "My name is Elias Thorne. You," a pause, a curl of something sharp at his lip, "are my wife Vivian, and you've had a very bad fall." Beat, the house on Blackwood Lane was a fortress of glass and dark wood. Elias moved with practiced precision as he cleaned and bandaged her wound, then pressed two pills into her palm. "Prescription pain meds," he said. Vivian, the name felt foreign. She looked at the massive diamond on her finger and felt nothing. Elias guided her through a tour of what he called your life. The office mahogany desk, two laptops, a framed photo of them on a boat smiling stiffly. The kitchen's sub-zero appliances lined up like soldiers. The garage, a Porsche 911 and a black Range Rover polished to a mirror shine. "We're wealthy, Vivian," Elias said. "You're a partner at an investment firm. I manage the family trust. Our life is quiet, predictable." But her instincts said otherwise. Her movements were too sharp, too trained, her hands calloused, her eyes tracking shadows without thought. Something was wrong, something was missing. Something was being hidden. That evening, alone in the library while Elias claimed to be on a call, she found the first crack in the story. Behind a row of classic literature was a worn copy of The Art of War. Inside it, a folded photograph, not of Elias, of her, but younger, with dark hair, laughing into the eyes of a rugged man with a scar above his left eyebrow. On the back, June 14, 2018, Lima, Peru. Vivian Thorne in Peru. With another man, why hide this? Beat, the fear sharpened into something else. A hunt. Elias was lying, but about what? For 2 days, she played the amnesiac wife perfectly. She let him drive her to a doctor who too easily dismissed her total memory loss. She nodded at his stories of their stable marriage. But behind the mask, as she searched, the computers were encrypted, the safe in the closet locked tight. But the utility room had a weakness. Behind the water heater, taped to the pipes, she found a small metallic flash drive, the kind used by intelligence agencies. That night, while Elias slept unnaturally deeply, she plugged it into the home office laptop. A four-digit code prompt appeared. Her fingers moved on instinct. 1418, the date from the photograph. The drive opened. Inside was one file, a video dated 3 weeks ago. She clicked and froze. Beat, she watched herself, but not this sleek blonde version, her, but with dark hair, short, eyes hard, face bare, wearing tactical gear. "The target is Thorne," the other her said into a comms device. "Elias Thorne, the asset must be compromised and extracted before the merger is complete. The ledger is in the safe." Vivian's breath stopped. The woman in the video looked into the camera. "If I fail, burn the mission. Tell Marco I love him." The video ended. Vivian's knees buckled. She wasn't a wealthy wife. She wasn't Vivian Thorne. She was undercover, deep cover, and she had failed. Marco wasn't a lover, he was a partner, or more. Her identity crashed into her like a freight train. Then she looked down, the flash drive was gone. She spun, Elias stood in the doorway, exactly as before, holding his tumbler. But his eyes now cold, predatory, looking for something. Vivian beat the act saved her. I was looking for the thermostat, she whispered. It's too cold, too quiet. He stepped closer, his presence suffocating. We made it quiet, he said. We like it that way. His eyes drilled into her. I need to know, did the fall erase your memory or your loyalty? She swallowed, forcing tears into her eyes. I don't know who I was, Elias. But I know I'm your wife and I'm scared. He studied her, then nodded. Good. The next day, she asked to go out for fresh air. At a cafe restroom, she activated a hidden tracker she'd found inside the Range Rover, a military-grade GPS chip. It pinged a location, a remote storage facility in Providence, Rhode Island, too important to be a simple lockbox. The next night, she made her move. When Elias fell asleep, she went to the safe. She didn't need his key. She needed herself, her real self. Her fingers moved with long-buried skill. The tumblers clicked. The door opened. Inside was no jewelry, just a red leather-bound book, the Thorn Ledger, and a stack of Department of Defense documents. One file in particular made her blood run cold. File, subject V-3, cover identity Vivian Thorn, status terminated, her real name Agent Lena Petrova, her mission eliminate Elias Thorn, recover the ledger. She wasn't the victim, she was the assassin. Then she saw it, the final line, the one that shattered her entire world. Handler Marco, liquidated by Agent Petrova on June 14, 2018 to maintain cover. She had killed him. The man she thought she loved. Beat memory slammed into her, the shot, the blood, the grief buried under duty. Lena staggered back, choking on the truth. A soft voice broke the silence. I should have known the moment you looked at the books. Elias. Holding a silenced P99, his face full of cold betrayal and something like heartbreak. The head trauma wasn't an accident, he said. You tried to open the safe while concussed. You fell. You scrambled your own brain. He stepped closer. You didn't need my key, Lena. You needed to remember you're an expert at breaking things. Tears slid down her face. I killed him. I killed Marco. A beautiful lie, Elias whispered. You were my operative. I built Vivian for you. We were supposed to disappear together with the money in Providence. He lowered the gun. Give me the ledger, Lena. She stared at him, the man who'd written her entire life. Beat, she didn't reach for the ledger. She reached for the stiletto heel she'd used to open the safe. In one brutal motion, she plunged the metal pick into the nerve cluster of his wrist. Elias screamed, dropping the gun. Lena caught it mid-fall. You're right, she said coldly. I am an expert in breaking things, but I'm done breaking them for you. She aimed not at him, at the ledger. 3 silenced shots tore through it, shredding the pages. It's gone, she whispered. No frame, no money, no proof. A final shot into the ceiling ensured someone would call the police. 7 minutes later, they arrived. Elias was found tied to a chair, bleeding heavily. Lena, now Vivian, the terrified wife, gave a full statement. He tried to kill me, she said, when I threatened to expose his crimes. She pointed them to the Providence storage facility, to the evidence. To the empire he'd built on blood, but not a single word about Lena Petrova, or Marco, or the truth. Elias Thorn was arrested, and Lena walked out of the house on Blackwood Lane with nothing but her clothes and her skills. She stood on the lawn as the sirens faded into the night, touched the bandage on her head, and smiled a small, sharp, dangerous smile. She had woken up with no memory. Now she had too many, but one thing was clear. The world needed a cleaner, and Agent Lena Petrova was finally free, a shadow reborn, ready to choose her own next target.